What's going on, guys? What's going on? This is Lee Vaughn Stewart. Welcome back to VonnieFX, and this is another episode of Taking Profit. Well, Take Profit Tuesdays. All right. Well, guys. All right. So we're gonna go over a couple things today. One of the things I do want to go over because I've been looking in the market. Is that the S&P is in a really heavy correction zone. About 2 weeks ago, it actually took this big dip right here. I really thought it was gonna recover, but since the news about the Ukrainians and all this stuff happening in the U.S. about Putin, which we'll definitely read an article about what's going on with the correction. Um, yeah, it's taking a big dip. So what I do want to emphasize, guys, is that there's a lot of times where you might hear in the community, oh, buy the dip, and with the S&P, it's definitely one of the things you definitely want to buy the dip on. And not only because a lot of people are just gonna take advantage of all these dips, and it can even go even lower than this point. It could even go to the 36.90, and that's okay. Why? Because people are gonna buy it up. Remember this dip right here, COVID. I remember that people think, oh, it's gonna go to zero. Come on now. If you think the if you think the economy is gonna hit the zero, and I think it's dipped worse before in the past, where this is back in '08, the '08 recession, yeah. So, real dumb guys, you never want to, panic and then sell all your shares, because the reason why is because a lot of the times you're gonna miss the opportunities to get into a even better position, and that's in a dip, and then you could just ride it all the way up, right? So right now, as you can see, it's gonna be a dip to where it might even lower. There's talks of World War II going on, this, then the third, right? But nonetheless, guys, this is obviously looking like a W pattern, and I do believe we're gonna have a lot of investors getting into the discount opportunity, right? There's a lot of buys right here. And if the buyers are not able to buy out this zone to bring it back up, it's gonna sell off even more because people are gonna panic and just start selling their shares and, you know, try to cash out and put other things. You gotta understand how the money flows. So let's move on to the next thing. The next thing I want to talk about is Bitcoin. Again, we're gonna read the article. Well, actually, let's read it now since we're already still on the topic. So this one's from the Market Watch. S&P logs first correction 2 years as Russia. Obviously, 2 years is when COVID started, so this might be the other correction. As Russia-Ukraine conflict escalates, here's what history says. What happens next to U.S. stock market benchmark? All right, we scroll down. All right, shout out to the author of this article. The S&P on Tuesday fell into correction for the first time in 2 years, joined the Nasdaq composite as Russia sent troops into pro-Russian regions in Ukraine. So a lot of people are selling their shares because they're fearful of this happening. So the next one says the S&P index ended down 1% at at that price, below the correction level at that price, which represents 10% drop from its January 3rd record close. A correction is commonly defined by market technicians as a fall of at least 10%, but not greater than 20. So it's a correction to go even further. So again, a lot of people might be buying it. And you know what, guys? For the shits and giggles, we're just gonna put a price tag right here, just to represent this is a good buy opportunity. And if you're watching this, you can buy it up too. I'm not an advisor. Trade at your own risk, guys. So next we got the last time S&P entered the correction was February 27th, 2020, when the market was being whipsawed by fear about outbreak of the COVID. That's what I just mentioned. At this time around, investors were wrestling with escalating tensions between Moscow and the Kyiv, which could devolve into a full-blown war. Wall Street also was wrangling with the surge of inflation and Federal Reserve that bent onto hiking interest rates to combat growing price pressuring. which accidentally could be exacerbated, but I can't read, by Ukraine tension, right? So like us too, they're suffering through the interest rate, so they have to start hiking up the interest rate to bring down the inflation back to reasonable levels. So the decline of the S&P comes about a month after Nasdaq Composite descended into correction on Tuesday, and the composite ended 12 down. Blah blah blah. It's good news for market participants, and history suggests that the market trends to eventually bounce back after the board market benchmark suffering correction gauged by data backed up to the 1920s. So again, they're just indicating this is a good buy opportunity because it's gonna correct. All right, so next we got just to finish it, this article. On average, the index gain on that percent 1 week following the correction, but declines that percent on average about 2 weeks out. Therefore, the market marches higher into the following 3 weeks, 1 month, 6 month, full year period, according to the Dow Jones market data. Wow! Shout outs to Mark for this valuable information and all these charts and stuff. I'm not gonna go too deep into it, but I get the gist of what he's trying to portray. Definitely valuable information, guys. So again, this is the correction. So I'm gonna put this price tag here. So next week, guys, when we talk about this, we're gonna talk about the correction. All right. We're 7 minutes now, so let's see. Let's talk about Bitcoin a little bit. So if those of us who are not into crypto, definitely get into it. It's a very unique space to be in, and interesting, especially when you're investing. Just ignore all these price tags; they're just for fun. Um, I want to emphasize this sell off right here. Bitcoin actually, yeah, after the Elon fiasco, which is right here, came bottled up right here, accumulated, and then it shot up and then continued to go up as high as to the back to where it was before. I think it actually made new highs. Yeah, it made new highs, right, and then sold back off. Whoever caught it right here, a lot of people sold back off in that same zone. But now we're back in that zone that we're in the buy zone now. We're kind of in the zone. So as you see right here, this stone came back up. So now, if you're an investor, guys, if you haven't already, you should be buying in these zones as it's going down and accumulate, and you hold, and then you cash out. And that's simple like that. I'm not gonna talk about trading it as far as shorting it, but it's a talk for another day. All right, so I'm gonna end things off with the dollar index, and we're just gonna talk about it as far as technical wise. Um, Before, I think we talked about it being in the channel. Oh yeah, I remember we talked about it. It's kind of in this channel right here. So right now it's in a good, buy opportunity. So if you're in Euro USD on any of the USD pairs, you could definitely get into a good position because it could definitely. It looks like a pennant, to be honest. Let me zoom in, see if we're on the 4 hour. It looks like it's accumulating again before it takes off. But yeah, we just gotta wait for that out. But yeah, just to wrap up things, guys. Again, we do this on a weekly basis. We're gonna try to get as much content out. Again, if you haven't already, follow the channel, like, comment, subscribe. Um, and again, we're coming out a lot of content. We have the Signal Service group. If you haven't already, join it. Message me in the comments or directly to get this Signal Service going. We also have account management for crypto. You could DM us about it specifically. And we're gonna have most like a master class soon. We're gonna have a giveaway soon. We're gonna have all these nice things, guys. So we gotta, we gotta keep the train going. And again, I'm gonna try my best to get some more content out so I can educate you guys and give you that exposure. Okay, so I'll catch you guys in the next video.